Order has been restored to Onorato and Bagnardi. Chris Onorato, Sean Bagnardi. Hey, man, I thought last week's show was, I texted you. That was fun that you had Paul Cayano on, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, he was very good. He was gracious to do it. He, of course, knows his sports, but is a guy who can talk about anything, which is really what you need on a podcast, you know?
Correct. Exactly. This is not Thursday at 10 a.m. Don't worry. You are not late for your Thanksgiving meal. We're a little early this week. If you're watching us on TV, if you're watching us on My4, we're going to talk about Thanksgiving games before they happen. Okay. This is Wednesday for me and Sean. We will do our NFL Pick'em presented by Pick Six Vodka. Things are still tight between me and the viewer. Bags, you had a pretty good week as well, but man, did I need a bounce back week in a big way. We've got news with the Giants, obviously, and what they've decided along their coaching staff, and it's totally a move by the head coach to try to save his bacon for the time being, the way I view it. We'll talk about a little bit of a college football playoff shakeup as well. Right? Good conversation piece. I'm glad that the college football playoff decided, hey, you know what? We're going to sneak Cincinnati into this thing, Shawnee. Let's get things going here on Onorato and Bagnardi.
This is Onorato and Bagnardi, brought to you by Outfit House.
Shout out to all of our sponsors here on Onorato and Bagnardi: Novice Integrative Sleep Center, Professional Fire Restoration, Pick Six Vodka, of course, Marcella Appliance Center as well. Are you feeling the holiday vibe this week, Bags?
I am. The tree is up. The main tree. We're doing two trees this year. We've got the fake tree.
Main tree.
Well, listen. We've got the fake tree. I call it the fake tree. It's a real tree. It's just not a natural tree. Anyway, it's up in the living room upstairs, and then we're going to get a real tree that goes downstairs. Because here's what I noticed. We spend most of our time downstairs, but it makes sense to have the tree upstairs for the presents, and you have it in the window so it faces the road. It looks nice. It becomes a part of the decoration of the house, but then you don't get to really enjoy the Christmas tree. So we're going two trees, man.
So the big tree goes downstairs or upstairs?
The real tree goes downstairs.
They're both real.
Right. The biological tree. That's not right.
And you know me, I go fake all the way. I'm a fake tree all the way, every year, all the time.
Yeah, which is fine. And we do too. That's the main one. That's the one the presents will be under. That's how we define the main one. Okay. That'll be street facing upstairs. And then we're going to have the other tree.
No, I can't even. You've confused me beyond belief. And if I'm confused, and I know your brain is warped as it is, people watching are thinking, what is he talking about? He said they were two real trees, but now one is fake and one is real, but one's a main tree and one's not the main tree.
What I meant by they're both real is that they're real in the sense that it's not a fake. It is fake. I don't know. Let's talk about sports.
You are such, what is wrong with you? All right. Hey, here's the news from Tuesday. The Giants fired Jason Garrett, their offensive coordinator. And here was the number. And I was not aware of how bad it was. You watch it and you're like, this isn't good. This is how bad it was, though, Bags. The Giants have the fewest offensive touchdowns since Garrett was hired in 2020. So he lasts, a season and a half or so with Big Blue. And 42 offensive touchdowns for this team, man. Not good. And the biggest thing for me was Joe Judge's comments, yes, after the Monday night game in Kansas City. You heard it and you thought, well, Garrett's going to get fired. I don't know if it'll happen this week or the bye week or what, but he's going to get fired. It's been the regression of Daniel Jones. Early on in the season on this show, we were saying, hey, Daniel Jones looks good. Looks like he may have figured it out. He's not turning the ball over the way he used to. Turnovers are back for Daniel Jones. He's not making plays the way he was earlier in the year. And to me, it was a regression of a third-year quarterback that now just gets hung on the O coordinator.
All right. So let me play devil's advocate. why is the quarterback regressing if the offensive coordinator is any good at his job?
I'm not saying he's good at his job.
Okay. Look, I agree with you that this is about him being the fall guy. I mean, there's no question about it. Somebody had to take the fall here. But it seems like you're putting more of the blame on Daniel Jones.
Oh, no. I'm just stating the case for this is why Garrett goes, because we're seeing signs of Daniel Jones 2.5 years in now take steps backwards.
Right.
And you need your guy in year 3 to really take that leap almost. I mean, if he hasn't done it by year 2, to take that leap in year 3, and Jones is not doing that. And look, we can talk about how bad the offensive line is, the injuries that this offense has endured with Barkley and Galladay missing time, and Darius Slayton and Sterling Shepard. They've all missed time, all of them. But at the end of the day, a good quarterback still has to find a way. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, all-time great quarterback, and that guy finds ways to win games with wide receivers we've never heard of before. But Jones needs to at least look competent, Shawnee, because they have this franchise has a serious decision to make in front of them here, and it's beyond the Dave Gettleman, like, hey, do we keep the GM? My guess is he won't stick around very long. They're 3-7. But are we investing in Daniel Jones, or if we have a top 4 pick, are we taking a quarterback next year? That's the biggest question in front of the Giants right now.
What is your evaluation on the job Garrett did with the Cowboys?
I'm just going to say average, because he was 500 basically every single year. He was average. He was not good enough for being with a team for a decade. To not get to a conference championship game the way the Cowboys invest, right, in trying to win, not good enough by any means. Yeah, not good.
Okay, but you'd say
in his time.
What is that cup?
It's it's an autism awareness.
Oh, okay. That's
Tervis.
I just saw the colors and I thought that was interesting. But
in Garrett's time in Dallas, Philly won a Super Bowl. The Giants won 2 Super Bowl. Come on.
Okay. I think Garrett is a good football mind. He's a guy I wouldn't mind having on my coaching staff. I'm not over the moon about him. I'm not putting all the blame on him for this Giants team. Certainly, you mentioned the injuries. I mean, I've never been fully invested in Daniel Jones anyway as the quarterback of this team. Some of this, I'm sure, is on the head coach, who's not in a position to be the fall guy just yet, but this is usually how the dominoes start to fall, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll see about that. This didn't really surprise me, the way the Giants have been going. I just think it's not all on Garrett, obviously, right?
And look, Joe Judge will not be on shakier ground than if Dave Gettleman goes, because we understand how much a new GM comes in. They want to bring in their guy, right?
And also, so you want this fall guy to be there longer if you're a guy like Judge, so that he can take the fall later, because now the fall has been taken and now that's one less domino in the line. So you've got to be better now. And this team just isn't that good. I mean, they're not that good. The offense is not that good. Injuries aside, Jones, again, is not a guy I've been fully invested in. So this was a tough spot for Garrett. I hope he finds himself another job, because I think he's worthy of being a coach in the NFL. I wouldn't hire him necessarily as the head coach. I don't know where I'd hire him, but I think he's a decent football mind, seems to be a good guy, a guy I wouldn't mind having around my squad, but he was in line to be the fall guy first here.
Don't you think Jerry Jones brings him back in some kind of front office role, right? He just is with the organization, whatever that may be. I think that's probably a pretty good spot for Jason Garrett. We're going to carve a turkey coming up later on in the show. Your guy, Zach Wilson, is back and healthy, ready to play here in week 12, Bags. And we've got our NFL Pick'em presented by Pick 6 Vodka. But because we are now past the halfway point in the season, and it's a holiday week before we start talking about the Thursday Thanksgiving Day games, if you had a do-over, Bags, what would it be? What would be your number one NFL prediction do-over this season? I have a couple that jump to the top of my mind immediately. I'll go first if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dolphins to make the playoffs. Number one for me. This team should be a lot better than it has been. And I think it puts Brian Flores squarely on the hot seat here. Nobody's really talking about that. But when there's so many rumors about trying to get someone like Deshaun Watson, clearly they don't love Tua. Ryan Fitzpatrick was the reason that team was as successful as it was last year. And I really thought there was momentum with this franchise and this team going into this season. I had the Dolphins in the playoffs. They obviously are not going to get there. Okay. Yeah. I was way off on New England. Many people were. My second biggest regret is the Browns to make the Super Bowl. Which is worse? Dolphins to make the playoffs and they're as bad as they are, or Browns to make the Super Bowl? I had them losing to the Rams in our preseason picks. Browns to reach the Super Bowl, Dolphins to make the playoffs are the two do-overs I'd love to have midway through the season.
Yeah, I would say the Dolphins are probably worse. So I'm feeling okay about my long-term picks because I like the Chiefs sort of reestablishing themselves here a little bit, finding their footing. And in the long term, I like them and I like Tampa Bay to, survive the grueling playoffs that are ahead. Now, that of course being said, we've seen enough from other teams where you're not surprised if either one of those teams goes down, right? I picked the Giants to make the playoffs as a wild card. So that would probably be my biggest.
The Jets to make the playoffs?
I don't think I picked the Jets. I did pick New England. So I'm feeling better about that.
Okay.
Are you concerned at all about Buffalo?
Yes. Real concerned.
Yeah.
Real concerns. And not that I don't think they're a good team. They're a very inconsistent team.
Yeah.
And you can't win 4 straight games in January and into February being an inconsistent team. Just not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm starting
at this point, if I said to you, here's $100, are you putting on New England or Buffalo to win the division? Who are you picking?
Boy. Buffalo.
They play twice in the month of December. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm surprised you just said that. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not as confident in my long-term pick with the Bills because I have them going all the way to the championship game. And now I'm not so sure. I mean, there was a time, obviously, in this season where it looked like they could very well be the 1 seed and have the bye and be playing home games in Buffalo and everything was going to be great for them. Now you're talking about them maybe having to travel to a difficult opponent, and now we're talking about an early playoff exit for the Bills once again, which, that would be a step back for this team based on what they did last year.
The AFC is weird, right? Like, how many teams would I name where you would say, oh yeah, no, they beat Buffalo?
Well, yeah, there's not an
like Tennessee doesn't scare you anymore without Derrick Henry. The Chiefs maybe are figuring things out here. We'll find out some more this week. But is there a team in the AFC where you say they've established themselves at maybe going to Baltimore? You don't love Buffalo in that spot? I don't know. And going to Arrowhead as well. But you'd give them a puncher's chance in both those games.
Oh, yeah, 100% you would. But it just went from being what would have felt like an automatic in that situation to now, I don't know. Now it could be a coin flip. And again, if the difference is playing at home or on the road, maybe, then I think the coin flip probably goes slightly against them in that situation.
Okay. All right, let's take a quick time out here on Onorato and Bagnardi. When we come back, we're going to carve a turkey with Neil Golub.
We are not. You are, and I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Well, wait until you see it. Then you will say, well, you didn't do anything, Onorato. Neil carved the turkey. But this has become a Thanksgiving tradition for a lot of people in the capital region to see Neil Golub on their televisions carving a turkey. And he's got it down to an absolute science. Wait until you see this. Major League Baseball's free agency is heating up here as the clock really ticks on this labor agreement that will run out in the beginning of December. We'll talk about who the Yankees should prioritize at shortstop. I know you and Kayano talked about that a little bit last week, but I want to weigh in here on on who number one should be for the Yankees in free agency this year. And of course, our NFL picks presented by Pick Six Vodka coming up here on Onorato and Bagnardi as well. Hang on, we're back right after this.
Hey folks, DJ with Professional Fire Restoration, and we've been turning crisis into calm for a half a century.
Imagine waking up one morning and having your house on fire. Nobody ever thinks it can happen to them, but it happened to my family. The first thing I did was call Professional Fire Restoration. From start to finish, DJ was there every step of the way. Thank God I made the right call. They turned crisis into calm for my family.
When only the best will do, you know who to call.
Professional Fire Restoration.
Teams, athletes, organizations. We're transforming the custom apparel industry through product and purpose. Claim your crown.
And now, back to Onorato and Bagnardi. Brought to you by Alpin House.
Shout out to all of our sponsors here on Onorato and Bagnardi, Nick and Garrett Bernardo from Novice, DJ from Professional Fire Restoration, who you just saw in that commercial break, all the great people, Holly and Adam at Pick Six Vodka, and my guy Johnny and Nick at Marcella's, and of course the entire family behind the Alpin House operation, Katie Osborne, Andy Heck, and their great support with us here. Lori from Integrative Sleep Center and Frederick Dreer, the doc, as well, for supporting our show here all year long on Onorato and Bagnardi. We're usually here with you on a Thursday at 10 a.m. You all right there, Bags? Checking yourself out?
Well, my shirt was a little crooked. I just don't want to look like a complete idiot. I already look so bad next to you now. You're doing this morning show. You're dressed to the nines every single podcast now. And I'm dressed like we're doing a sports talk show. You know what I mean?
Somebody said to me, like, you've really upped your wardrobe game. I'm like, yeah, but it's only because I'm forced to wake up and dress like this. If you watched us 4 or 5 months ago, I was dressing like Shawnee there a little bit.
I will not dress. I will not raise my game to meet you. It will not happen.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, when you get your Amazon Echo devices this Christmas, Bags, spread them out throughout the house and tell Alexa to play the podcast Onorato and Bagnardi. Fill the home with our voices. It's better than watching us, probably. But we are on all of your smart devices throughout your home. Just say, hey, Alexa, play the podcast Onorato and Bagnardi. If you're not able to watch us, that's an easy way to keep up with every single episode that goes to Amazon Music, Apple iTunes, Spotify. We're everywhere.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't do that to Elisa, but I'm glad that you're encouraging the viewers to do that, or the listeners in that case.
Do you have Echo dots spread out throughout the house that you could play it in almost every single room?
No.
Okay.
But it's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You want to see Neil Golub carve a turkey? Is that what you want to see today?
I do, because you said that he's got this down to a science, which really raised my interest level in this. I want to see. I've seen many a turkeys be carved in my time.
Yeah. Do you carve the turkey ever on Thanksgiving?
I've carved it, but no, it's generally reserved for somebody else. So I'm curious to see, the thing with carving a turkey, it becomes such an ego thing. Whoever's doing it always thinks they've got the best way to do it. Like, no. I'm carving the turkey. Step aside, clear the way for me. I'm going to carve the turkey the best way you've ever seen a turkey carved. To me, it's like you take the knife, you cut the slices off. Here we go. But perhaps somebody like Neil Golub does have sort of a secret method here that we could all adopt in our turkey carving.
He sure does. I'm telling you. Neil Astano, who's our morning meteorologist, said, I saw Neil Golub carve this turkey 20 plus years ago. I've been carving it the way Neil carves it ever since.
Has Neil carved it the same way ever since? Is this like a tried and true thing he's done for decades? Or is he Neil Golub, or has he changed? Has he developed his method over the years?
I think this is still the original, the OG carving, I believe.
All right, play the thing already.
All right, our NFL picks coming up in 10 minutes. Hang on. Here is the carving of the turkey. It's Thanksgiving. This is a News Channel 13 tradition that we love, and that is get the turkey carving expertise from Neil Golub. We are at beautiful Market Bistro. Neil, thank you for doing this.
Well, thanks for coming, and it's always great to do Thanksgiving and carve turkeys, and every year people say, hey, how do you do that again? So we're going to do it. But the first thing is we try to pull off the wing, and so that's pretty easy because it comes off, and we'll take it and we'll set the wing right here. We might get a bigger pile than we normally would. Okay, and then the next thing we do is we take off the drum and the leg. So we cut down through the skin right there, and this actually is pretty easy to get off because all you really need is one, just if you hit it in the right spot, just like boom, the whole thing will come off very easily in one little thing. All I did is hit it like just boom like that, and it comes right off. Now we use the handle to carve off the dark meat because this is where the dark meat is. The drum is tougher dark meat, but the rest of it, the thigh, is where the really good stuff is. And so we cut that right down through the joint. We split the joint, and we use the cutting board as leverage, and we take off the dark meat, both sides. And when you see, it's so easy to find the joint, and it comes right off. And then off the bone, we'll take the rest of the dark meat, because we're going to cut it up and put it on the platter right in front of us. Okay, I got a bone bowl for my daughter who loves to make soup, and she says, "Don't forget, Dad." Okay, so then we cut up the dark meat, and we cut it in nice slices because people who love dark meat don't like it all scratched up and kind of chewed away. And I have this wonderful spatula, big one. And what I do is I take the dark meat and I put it on the platter.
Right, you're leaving it all there. As you said, you're not picking through the dark meat.
Nope. We've cut it up, sliced it up very nicely, and there we've got all of this stuff sitting right there ready to go. Now the next thing we want to do is take off the white meat, which is the breast. And if you look over here for a second, this is kind of interesting. There's a bone across the top that's called the keel bone. It's like your breastbone, okay? And the idea is that bone goes all the way down. So the idea here is that if we cut in on the side just above the wing, we just cut in, straight in, and then if we follow the bone, if we follow that bone all the way up, it comes out without a problem. You don't go out like that, you could hurt somebody. But yeah, but that's the way you do it. And
because how many amateurs, Neil, would want to cut from the middle?
A lot of people try to cut the turkey this way through the bone. You can't cut through the bone. You know, you can't do that. All right, so here's how we get at that. For to take the breast off, here's the wing bone right here. We cut in straight in, and we go right to the bone. Okay. Then the next thing we do is, if you look right on top of the bone, you find the bone, and you make a cut down, right down through where the bone is, right next to it. You let the knife just rest right up against the bone, and let the bone guide you. And we've already got this breast coming off a little bit. You can see there's a cut right there, and what happens is we're able to take off the whole breast in one piece.
Look at that.
Then the next step is, how do we slice it? Well, we got a couple different ways of slicing it. One way is a short way where we can slice it this way, or another way is where we can get more of the white meat. So I'm going to do this one this way this time, and I'm slicing the meat so that somebody can come along and grab a nice big piece of meat. I'm always amazed. Some people come along and only take one little tiny piece, and other people,
they're coming back.
Yeah, and other people come along and take a whole, whole pile of it. We'd go up a little bit just to make sure you got a little leverage. Okay.
Okay.
So, already, you count. Ready?
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Here we go. Oh, I got it.
Boy, that's close, but I think you've got more.
Okay. Well, It was
Yeah.
it was a good wish.
That's
I can
pretty
assure
good.
you that was a good wish. Well, that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching and learning how to carve your turkey, and enjoy your Thanksgiving, and the best of you and your family and all your loved ones.
There it is, Shawnee. That's how you carve the turkey.
Fascinating
With Neil
stuff. Certainly learned a lot about that. I liked in particular the focus on the dark meat because I'm a big dark meat guy.
Oh, you are?
Yes. Yes.
I've only recently embraced even having a little bit. I used to never have any. I've only recently embraced having a little bit of it. But I would have his approach to start from the bottom.
Yeah.
The bottom up. I would have never. You just always cut down, cut down, cut down.
It's very clever. How many years has he been doing that? Forever.
Yeah. I think somebody said more than 30 years. Now I don't know. But and he used to come to each individual TV station, as you know,
Right.
and he would leave, a ton of food. A ton.
I like the setting there better than
Definitely.
any TV studio, but if you're not going to have all the food left behind, then that's certainly a disadvantage. Nobody eats food like TV news people. Nobody.
Got that right.
Nobody.
Yep.
I don't care what your office. No, yeah, I don't care what your office does. I don't care how much food you always have in your office.
Nope.
It's nothing like a TV newsroom. It's absurd. The food, absurd.
You could have just finished a 5-course meal at a diamond-rated restaurant, and if there's cold pizza laying around, someone in the newsroom is running towards it to get it. I don't know why. It's as if they may never eat again.
You know what? We don't deserve Neil Golub in the TV newsroom because of the crap that we eat all year long. We don't deserve the food that's that good because of the junk that's left out on tables for days that people come in and pick at. It's unbelievable. It's sickening, really, frankly. Pigs.
You are right about that. Hey, I mentioned how great of a job I thought you and Paul did last week. And you talked about the Yankees, which I found some interesting. I mean, the Correa comments, we won't go back and rehash it all, but the Correa comments, the timing of it, like when the Yankees may be a suitor of his to make those comments. I can't figure that one out other than just sheer honesty, stream of consciousness, speaking on a podcast, and you say something, and then maybe you go back and you thought, well, that wasn't so smart. I don't know. I don't think he regrets it at all, but he might have thought, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Will the Yankees still pay him is still kind of an interesting subject. My guess is that it won't be Correa who they target most, but who should be the shortstop bags at the top of the Yankees free agent wish list?
All right,
should it be Correa for you?
List the big free agents, right? You've got Story,
Correa,
right?
Story, Seager. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like Seager.
I mean, Javi Baez, are we putting him in there?
I know. Yeah. I'm not ready to.
Okay.
But yes, he's another one who that's probably how it'll work out. That's probably how it'll work it.
You like Story.
No, I like Seager for the Yankees.
Me too.
For some reason that feels like the best fit there for me. But Correa might be the best of the bunch. And typically that's who any team should target first. And it's like, if the Yankees want to go after him and they want to pay him the most money, why shouldn't it be him? Like Paul and I talked about, a stupid comment like that. For me, I'd be less willing to want to bring a guy like that in because of the whole Astros cheating scandal than I would because he made some comment about a guy who used to play for our team quite a while ago now.
The guy.
Quite a while ago now. Yeah,
he's not a guy.
I'm saying, if he comes in, though, and produces, nobody cares about that. Yankee fans are up cheering. The same Yankee fans who were cursing him out a week ago are going to be in the stands going nuts if he produces. So what I would say is bring in the guy who you think best gives you the chance to win, the guy who's going to have the biggest impact. And that might be Correa. But I like Seager there as a fit for me.
I'm with you. I think Correa is the best of this bunch. I do love Corey Seager. I would rank him Correa just slightly ahead of Seager, and then Story, honestly, markedly below the other two. But I like Seager for the Yankees because he's a left-handed power bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he might hit a bunch of home runs in the Bronx. So I like Seager to be the number one guy at the Yankees target, but I also don't hate the idea of, I mean, I hate it as a Braves fan, but if the Yankees said, hey, we want to go get Freddie Freeman, we can pay him more than the Braves. We can give him more years. We've talked about that on this show. And let's supplement the shortstop position with a guy on a one-year deal like an Andrelton Simmons, something like that. We pay for the first baseman. We find somebody who's good, but not that top tier of shortstop free agent. And I think you become a better team than just adding the one shortstop. I think if they mixed and matched, they'd be better off. All that said, I think you'd have to overwhelm Freeman with an offer for him to leave Atlanta. We've already talked about that.
Yeah.
The difference of $30 million over 6 years, so $5 a year. That's a lot of money, but I don't know that it's still enough for him to get him to leave Atlanta.
But why not both? I mean, this is the New York Yankees. Why pick and choose?
Because they have set the standard that they don't want to go above the luxury tax. That they are trying to, they've tried to avoid that in the past. My guess is it's going to be the same song and dance this year from Cashman.
But how many years does this Yankee team have to go without winning before it really becomes? I mean, look, if you have a chance to go out, if it becomes realistic that you could bring in Freeman and Correa,
yeah.
How do you not just pay the money and do it? I mean, it gets late early. To quote a great Yankee, for the Yankees, right? When they don't win. And it's been an awfully long time. It's starting to get long in terms of how other franchises might view how long it's been. It's really long for the New York Yankees since they have been where they want to be. So I don't know, man. I say go big.
Yeah, been 12 years. It'll be 13 years. If you missed the conversation between Sean and Paul, here's how you can find it. It's on all the News Channel 13 social platforms, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and this is what it looks like. And Bags, while I was away, you were busy screwing up my name. Look at this. All over News Channel 13 platforms, it's Onorato.
No.
Onorato and Bagnardi. Now, this is on Twitter. One viewer was able to catch it, and I thank John for this. You're about to see it coming up. John says, isn't it Onorato? No, actually, it isn't spelled like that either.
No, that's
so
wrong.
My co-host misspells it, and then somebody watching misspells it as well. What is going on here?
You know what's funny is I don't even know where I typed that. I realized that would go... It was certainly a typo, but I don't even know that. I don't even remember where I typed that, thinking that would go out over, or maybe, yeah. So so I do know where I typed that. Yeah,
you don't have to go behind the scenes because people watching don't care. But yeah,
no, but I thought only the description part, not the title and the description part, went out. Because that obviously is the part I didn't really proofread. Well, by the way, props to you, man, filling in. People don't realize there are an awful lot of buttons to press. There's a lot of clickety-click when you run the show with graphics and everything else and rolling commercials. You are not just, the co-host of the show. You're the director of the show on a weekly basis, and I have a newfound respect for how difficult that is after having to do it last week.
Hey, like I said, I watched the show back. It was clean. You did a good job, man. For people watching, it is the two of us. It is me and Sean and our graphics guy, John Conlon, who makes everything on this show look. But literally, this is it, people. So when something screws up, it's one of us that does it. And to Sean's point, yeah, there's a lot of button pushing going on here. I'm about to do that right now. We're going to hit a commercial break. And on the other side, our NFL Pick'em presented by Pick 6 Vodka. 6 games, of course. And it starts with the NBC game on Thanksgiving night. Bags asked if I was...
It ends with that game, but I know what you mean. Thursday ends with that game, but our Pick 6 starts with that game. Go ahead.
Get outside and play this winter with Alpenhaus. We have Focal, Atomic, Nordica, Blizzard, Liptech, Canoe, K2, and more stock arriving daily. Check out our selection of snowshoes and cross-country too. Perform better with a fresh tune from our in-house experts and the Wintersteiger Mercury tuning machine. Alpenhaus, your source for fun for 57 years. Amsterdam and Clifton Park Center.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, Genair, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
And now, your weekly NFL Pick'em. Presented by Pick 6 Vodka.
All right, here we go. And again, shout out to our guys, our people at Saratoga Courage Distillery, Holly and Adam and the entire crew, Serge. And they are the makers of Pick 6 Vodka, which is what I keep stocked in the Onorato household, and that's why we wanted them here on this show.
The Onorato household.
We love the vodka, and we wanted them on this show. The what household?
The Onorato household.
The Onorato. It was two R's. It was
Sorry,
Onorato.
the Onorato household.
The Onorato. How did we do last week? Boy, I was dreadful the week before, and you showed it. I was 1-5. I flipped it to a 5-1 to push me back over 500. My goodness, these numbers are ugly. Bags, you're 10 under.
Oh.
And the viewer is hot on my heels here. And a buddy of ours is the viewer this week that knows a thing or two about betting football. So this is a real challenge for us. The viewer comes in 2 games under 500. We'll see if our guest picker this week can push them over the 500 mark and even perhaps ahead of me.
Yeah, I've got a feeling we might lose. You're obviously our only chance to win the overall here this season. And I've got a feeling we're going to lose this thing to the viewers.
Now,
Your 1-5 was a huge step back. I know you rebounded well, but you didn't really gain ground last week because the viewer was 4-2. So you only made up a game after losing so many games the week before. And now we're sitting here in a complete dogfight with you and the viewer. I got to find a way to climb back into this thing and make it interesting.
So somebody needs to check with legal, and maybe that's me. And I forget, what did we promise at the beginning of this all? I think if you win 1 week, you are entered for the grand prize at the it isn't who wins the overall standings at the end.
I know, but it's a pride thing. It's a pride thing. We don't want to lose to both of us lose to a random selection of viewers. That's not good. Really makes you wonder.
It's true. And it is a random selection of viewers, people who share a Facebook post, retweet us. You are entered automatically to be selected at random to take part in the NFL Pick'em presented by Pick 6 Vodka. This week's picker happens to be a buddy of ours, a loyal viewer of the show, as is his wife. His wife probably even more so, to be honest with you, Casey. Here is game 1. You said this is what ends Thursday, but it is what begins our 6 games this week. Bills at the Saints. And actually, this line has moved.
Okay.
So this is a 6.5 number, Bags. I don't know that scares you off or changes your mind
4.5, right?
in any way, but this is Buffalo 6.5 now. Thanksgiving night. News Channel 13 in New Orleans.
Well, it's not a huge difference. You're talking about though now 2 field goals doesn't cover it. I picked the Bills. I picked the Bills because as worried as I am about Buffalo at the moment, I'm just not in love with this Saints team. I think Buffalo shows up in a primetime game on Thanksgiving, and I think we're going to see one of their better games here, a rebound game, and I'm just not in love with the Saints. So ultimately, look, picking this at 4.5. It's can they win this game by a touchdown? I think they're going to. We know when they're right, they can score points in a hurry. So it's not so much about the spread for me as it is about which Buffalo team are we going to see. I think we're going to see the good team, the right team. And if we do, they should win this game really by 2 scores. So I'm taking Buffalo.
All right, picture at the bottom of your screen something scrolling that says disclaimer. Picks made based on a 4.5-point spread. Because I stuck with my pick after I saw the line move. It was early Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Didn't even bother Kelly with it. If he wants to change it, he can text me right now and tell me I'm going with New Orleans. I stuck with the Saints here because it helps me. Yeah, you're getting me 2 more points than I was originally getting. I'll take them because I was good at even 4.5. This is New Orleans at night on a holiday. That building is going to be electric. And I think it will
scores the first 2 scores of the game.
Won't matter, man. Not in that city. It won't matter. This place will stick with the Saints. And I don't think it's going to be an awfully high scoring game. And I have concerns about New Orleans, right? You lose to Philadelphia, you give up 40 to the Eagles. I'm worried there. And is Trevor Siemian going to outscore Josh Allen? No, they're going to lose this game, but I think they keep it close. So I'm on the Saints here. And you and Paulie Cayano last week talked a lot about islands. I like being on this early island on Thanksgiving night, a game I may not even see a second of, to be completely honest with you. After all the turkey and then having to get up early the next morning, I will wake up and say, Saints, did you cover me? Did you lose by more than 6? I'll be upset if you did.
Okay. I'm on Buffalo. I'm not happy.
You're staying here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Game two of the week here. Kelly says he'll wait to lodge his formal complaint if he doesn't win. There'll be a protest done. Yeah,
right.
I hear you. This Titans and Patriots. I want to call it a good game. Here are my thoughts on the Titans, a team that just lost to the Texans. We are either going to start believing that this team is good enough to win without Derrick Henry, or there's really going to be a fall off. And then you start saying, hey, look out for a team like the Colts to catch them in that division. But I don't know that they're as bad as we're all kind of making them out to be. Oh, they can't win without Derrick Henry. And I know New England's played a lot better, but when I saw this number, I get it's in Foxborough, but basically spotting the Patriots, the Titans a touchdown here, I thought, man, this feels a little disrespectful to Tennessee. They're a good football team.
I agree. They are a good football team, and New England is a good football team, but maybe I don't want to say a smidge overrated at this point. Maybe a smidge. Wait a minute. I thought you just said you were taking the Titans.
I didn't say that. I just said it felt disrespectful.
So you're going to disrespect them. So here we go again. Yeah. Oh, boy, this isn't good, man. I mean, I guess it is good if I just totally tank now. If I just tank. Because now if you win these games, you're beating the viewer, and at least we can save some kind of respectability on this show. But I had to pick Tennessee here for the reasons the classic Onorato starts to make my argument and then goes with the opposites. Now justify this, New England.
This is a 24-17, 27-20 kind of game. This New England defense is really, really good. And when Derrick Henry is not a factor and I don't have to load the box to stop the run, to me, I don't see Tennessee getting past 14, 17, 20 at absolute most. And Mac Jones is efficient, not going to turn the ball over a bunch. They will find ways to score. New England at home, a team that is, the trajectory on this team, Bags, on the rise.
Yeah.
It's not pretty. I think I said to you in the newsroom, or I said to a bunch of people in the newsroom not too long ago, they're going to win a playoff game. Maybe only one, and probably only one, but it will be ugly. They'll win 17-13. They'll win 19-16. They're going to win a playoff game, this team. I don't know if they'll win the division, but they're going to win a playoff game, and in low-scoring, tough fashion. and that's how they're going to win this game here. And it'll be by more than a touch. It'll be by at least a touchdown.
Here's what worries me about this: the Patriots are really getting some swagger now, and with Buffalo dropping, they've got their sights set on bigger things than they may have had them set on just a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yes.
So Belichick's got that swagger going right now with this team. They know this is a game at home against, albeit without Derrick Henry, a quality opponent. Now I'm doing what you're doing. I'm making the argument for them. It's just that Tennessee, this to me is such a close game. This to me should be a good game, even if New England wins it. So if you're going to give me Tennessee and you're going to give me the points, I'll take my chances there, despite the fact that the game is in New England.
Okay. All right. Ashley weighing in here. Titans can't win with Tannehill throwing the ball 52 times.
No.
Yeah. I mean, you're just asking for too much out of him. So again, here's that game that we just picked: Titans and Patriots. Next one on the schedule for us: Eagles at Giants.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts. I read a stat the other day. Should have written it down. Would be great material for this moment.
Now you don't know it.
Jalen Hurts has the highest QBR in the entire NFL over like the last month. What?
So what are you telling me, that QBR doesn't really matter, or that he's
I'm telling you that Jalen Hurts is playing much better than I thought he would over an extended stretch in this league.
So let me guess, taking the Giants.
And that I think the Eagles could maybe really invest in somebody like Jalen Hurts. The Eagles are 3.5-point favorites on the road. I'm on Philadelphia.
Okay, me too. Interesting here that Kelly is going with the G-men. So did you see anything out of the Giants against Tampa Bay that would make you think, okay, they got a home game here against a division opponent, maybe keep it close. They're going to be rejuvenated with the ousting of Jason Garrett. You're pointing at me. You think that might be a thing? They might actually be galvanized by that to some degree?
There could be something new, a Pep Daniel Jones step. Freddie Kitchen implements some things that, weren't being used. There's a freshness to the offense. I'm making stuff up here to try to make a case for Kelly's pick of the Giants because I don't see it happening with this New York offense the way it is. I just don't see it happening.
The Eagles are a better football team. Let me be clear to the Giants fan. The Giants stink, okay? They stink. The Eagles are a decent football team.
Decent. Yep.
Okay, they're an average football team. The Giants are a below average football team. So give me the Eagles, 3.5. I'd be happy if it was 2.5. But if I'm going to predict them to go win the game, just go win the thing. So Philly.
A couple of really good AFC North matchups here in Week 12. Steelers and Bengals. It still feels like it's kind of anyone's guess who will win this division, even though Baltimore has the 1-game lead right now in the AFC North. Couple of really good games here. Steelers, Bengals, Cincy's at home. They are a 4.5-point favorite, Bags.
Steelers.
Ben Roethlisberger back last week.
Yeah.
They put up a ton of points in Los Angeles, but they can't stop anybody because you didn't have TJ Watt. You didn't have Joe Hayden. You didn't have Minkah Fitzpatrick. The defense got shredded by the Chargers. They did cover, but can they do it again here? And it's the same number as it was a week ago, 4.5.
I think they can. The Steelers playing much, much better of late. They had been going into that Detroit game, right? And then they stunk it up and tied a bad Lions team. But before that, they've been playing much better. And even though they didn't beat Detroit like they should have, they didn't lose either. So they were on an unbeaten streak there. And then what happens? They're down a gajillion points. They make a huge rally in the fourth quarter last week. Looked like they might actually win that game and, of course, fall short. So to me, they're just playing a lot better, starting to put the pieces together. This is going to be a tough game. This is a battle. This was the hardest game, I think, of the week for me to pick, kind of a coin flip situation. So that's why I'm looking at, you're going to give me the Steelers and you're going to give me the points. That's where I'll take my chances.
I will show the recap here in a couple of minutes. I don't think I've picked the same team as O'Donnell yet.
No,
Holy
I love this.
cow,
this is huge.
Whew, I'm already starting to sweat a little bit
This
here.
is a big week now for us.
Rams Packers. Green Bay, the home team, but not the favorite. This is even, and it has stayed even since the line opened up, Bags, on Monday. Rams are the team I picked to win the Super Bowl. Packers are the team I pick with my heart every single season. Rodgers is a little banged up. Don't know that Aaron Jones, the running back, is going to play. He's still got that MCL sprain. Here's the biggest thing. They were already playing without David Bakhtiari, who's an all-pro left tackle. They slid Elton Jenkins from left guard to left tackle, and now he is out with a torn ACL. The offensive line is as makeshift as it gets. They've lost the center for games. It's as makeshift as it gets, and you are talking about Aaron Donald. You're talking about Jalen Ramsey on the outside. This is a good Rams defense. And is it maybe an opportunity for Odell Beckham Jr. to break out because you don't have Jair Alexander, who's an all-pro cornerback? He's injured on that Packers defense. They played without Rashawn Gary, one of the better pass rushers last week, and it showed. They haven't had Zadarius Smith all season, basically, also a pass rusher.
The Rams already.
This Packers defense is decimated as well as the offensive line, Bags. And this is even. I'm a little surprised. I love the Rams going into the season. I'm on the Rams.
Okay. And finally, you and Kelly do see things eye to eye. The Rams, I don't know if you've been paying attention. What's going on with this Rams team? He's about OBJ having an opportunity here. He had an opportunity last week. This guy, don't give me OBJ. All right.
Out on him. Ooh.
I'm out on him right now. All right.
Okay.
This is an even game. Green Bay at home. You just said it earlier about Rodgers. He'd go out there and throw to us and make it work. All right. This team will be fine in this game at home. This is a game people look at as maybe like an NFC championship preview, or has the potential to be. I know Tampa Bay obviously is in that mix, but these are like the class of the NFC. Despite the Rams sort of looking like they took a step back here a little bit. No, this is a great game. Rodgers gets it done in the fourth quarter. Packers win a close one.
Just maybe don't ask Mason Crosby to make a big kick right now. He is struggling. The Sunday Nighter. Yep. We talked about the two AFC North games. Going to blitz through this one a little bit. Browns, Ravens, Baltimore, the home team. Bags favored by 3.5. Who do you like?
I hate that I'm doing this. You know where I am on the Ravens. I like the Ravens a lot.
You love the Ravens.
You know where I am on the Browns. I hate
don't love the Browns
a lot. Something about this game spoke to me that they're going to.
What did it say? What did it say when it spoke to you?
It said, pick the lowly Cleveland Browns. They stink. I hate this team. They actually don't. But I hate this team. But I, for some reason, have to pick them. Baltimore, I follow these Baltimore games every week on my phone, and I'm like, they're where? They have how many points in the third quarter? What's going on with this team? So I don't know. Something about them this week. I have to pick Cleveland.
Hey, they played well enough last week without Lamar Jackson.
I know.
That's not easy to do.
Yeah, I know. Cleveland's going to win this game. They're not just going to cover, they're going to win.
All right, here's your quick recap of the week's picks. As you can see, I'm different than our viewer every step of the way until we get to LA and Baltimore. And then Bags and I are on opposite ends of things too. This is going to be a really, really interesting week here to see what it does to the overall records. Knowing the way we operate, Shawnee, everyone will be 3-3.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's possible mathematically, but everyone will be just about 500 and we'll call it a wash.
Yep, and we'll do it all over again next week. But look, at this point, I'm basically rooting for you. Just go beat the viewer. I love Kelly. Right. You got to win some games here.
That's hard for you to do. All right, when we come back here on Onorato and Bagnardi, a non-Power 5 is crashing the college football playoff party. Is that a good thing Are we looking forward to seeing something like that in January? Back right after this.
If you're overweight, if you snore, don't wait for your next physical to find out you have sleep apnea. It could cost you your job. Call Dr. Frederick Dreyer at the Integrative Sleep Center for a game-changing alternative in sleep apnea treatment and get a good night's rest.
Teams, athletes, organizations. We're transforming the custom apparel industry through product and purpose. Claim your crown.
Wondering what to do now that your Philips CPAP was recalled? Dr. Frederick Dreyer has a safe and effective alternative treatment for sleep apnea. Just pop it in and get a good night's rest. Keep your quality of life. Call the Integrative Sleep Center today. We work with all insurances.
And now, back to Onorato and Bagnardi. Brought to you by Alpin House.
All right, Shawnee, college football playoff rankings are out. We are awfully close to the end of the season here. And I don't know that I would call it a real surprise, but this is what they look like here. The way things went, you know what, honestly, the biggest surprise was maybe Ohio State jumping Alabama. Maybe that was the biggest surprise. Ohio State put it to Michigan State. They are 10-1. Georgia is the undefeated team in this, along with Cincinnati at 4. Are you glad the Bearcats now are getting a little bit of due, getting a little bit of respect here?
I am, right? They haven't lost a game. So, yes, my overall view here on college football, since we don't have a ton of time, Georgia's defense is really good. They're going to beat Alabama, right, in the SEC championship game. So how will that impact things here heading into the playoffs? I like Georgia to win it all. I know you are a big Notre Dame guy.
Hey, do you remember we used to have a segment on this show for the pre-News Channel 13 partnership? Mm-hmm. We had a segment on this show called Bank on It. You remember that segment?
I do.
I've got a little bank on it. I wish we had, like, remember we used to have the a cool open that would go with it? Yeah. Bags, I am saying bank on it. Notre Dame will make the college football playoff. They sit at 6. They will find a way in.
Okay, well, since I don't have one prepared, what I will say is bank on it. Notre Dame will not make the college football playoff. Expand the thing. How many times do we have to say it? Expand this thing to 8 teams. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm good with 6.
8.
Just 6.
8. 6
don't need 8. I think look, Bama will fall out, right? Because they're going to lose to Georgia. That's their second loss. Michigan and Ohio State will cancel each other out. So say Ohio State beats Michigan. Okay, now I've got Bama out and I got Michigan out. Well, that's 2 of 5.
Maybe they should be out, Chris, until the playoff.
So guess what? 2 of 5 out. That would mean Notre Dame in. That's how I'm feeling right now, is somehow, and it is going to make so many people angry, that Notre Dame will somehow find a way in to the college football playoff. Bags.
Happy Thanksgiving, buddy.